Hey guys, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at our ground stroke pyramid this week. 4 really kind of very important ideas that we need to implement to play great baseline. The first that we looked at yesterday was consistency. So let's just take a look at consistency again. My main thought with consistency is more about the consistency of my stroke, not just getting the ball in play. Trying to feel great balance and produce great swings to pretty conservative targets, all right? Okay, and I think that's really the essential backbone of great baseline is consistency. But then what's another layer to playing great baseline? To me, the next step up the ground stroke pyramid is depth, all right? So how do we get depth? Depth to me is simply about the idea of height, all right? The higher a ball goes, the farther back it should travel, okay? So if you look at the height of the net, I think a great way to lock into getting good depth is trying to clear a spot that would be double the height of the net. So let's take a look at a couple swings where I'm visualizing basically 2 nets that I'm trying to get this ball over. All right, so those worked out great, and I think you guys can really clearly see how much higher I worked those balls than when I was just trying to be consistent, okay? Now, why do we want to get depth? Couple really important reasons. The first is that the bounce of that tennis ball that I just hit over there is going to cause a significantly tougher ball for my opponent who's at the opposite baseline. I think as all of you know, when the ball comes in lower, it stays closer to your strike zone. It's much easier to manage that than when somebody brings the ball in deeper in the court and it starts jumping out. It really forces players to get pushed back and deal with high shots. So that's not easy for your opponent. So that's a huge bonus. The second part of getting depth that I think is a really valuable thing is that the net is really the worst place for a recreational or club level player to be missing the ball. You know, any ball in the net gives you 0 chance to continue the rally. Where a ball that's working towards the back of the court, even if it's going possibly a little bit long, you still have a chance that somebody maybe plays a little bit of an out ball, or they're at net and they took a volley on what might have been an out ball out the baseline. At least we have a chance there. Anything going in the net, the rally's over. So we really don't like the idea of missing in the net. So depth is a great way, if I'm thinking about clearing the height of 2 nets, to keep me away from missing the worst shot, all right? And thirdly, I think you just agree that the stroke that we produce from the baseline when we work the ball deep tends to be a lot cleaner stroke than when we hit short. And what I mean by that, if you take a look at my forehand, if I hit it kind of low on purpose, you know, that still traveled pretty far back there. But usually when we hit low, we get a little jammed up. And if we're working the ball deep in the court, it really frees up the swing. And that's again, tying this back into consistency, because we want all of these layers to be interconnected. So the consistency of my swing when I'm trying to hit the ball deep is going to be this really flowing, long stroke, and I think we can all appreciate when the swing is really getting released compared to when it's jammed up and a little bit short. Okay? So those 3 keys are why we need to get depth. Now, what is actually depth here? I think you guys can see those cones out there. They're really running kind of across no man's land. Anything behind those cones tends to be the back third of the tennis court. And to me, I think a lot of players out there think that getting depth is anything past the service line. But if we're really working that height where it's double the height of the net, this ball should be releasing farther back in the court. So I think it would really behoove a lot of you when you go out and practice to try to land the ball in the back third tennis court because that really, again, is truly the ball that will produce great swings from you. It'll produce great height, and then it will also be the ball that's a lot trickier for your opponent to try to return back. So let's see if I can take one swing at this, get it into that back third. All right, so there's some depth on the forehand, and there's some depth on the backhand. So height over the net, obviously great. Deeper ball jumping into my opponent. A lot of that idea of depth is just going to make you guys feel extremely confident at the baseline. All right? So that's all I got for you today. Couple more videos later to come this week, building up on the pyramid. But until then, please click like below this video. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. As well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses that Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those very helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well, and we'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.